Welcome back to the South African Morning, and it's time to look now at some of the Sunday papers, and we've got Duty Editor Peter Motloutsi, who's going to be breaking down some of the headlines in some of the country's big papers. And we start with the Sunday World. One of my favorite stories this year. It's a terrible, terrible story, but the Nomia Ndlovu story has just had me really, really riveted the
whole
entire
of South
time.
Africa.
That's right? So the headline here is reading, Killer Cop Ordered Hit on Investigating. You were just reading offline about her insatiable appetite for murder.
Yeah, I mean, this is fascinating. Even when we took the final sentencing, I think yesterday, or no, on Friday, she was still saying to one of the witnesses, "You will join me in jail next Christmas."
Yeah.
It's fascinating and it's sad at the same time because, I mean, here you are found guilty of such a heinous crime. You've killed about 6 people and she's not fazed at all. It's terrible.
It really is terrible. I mean, apparently she did cry.
She did, yeah.
At the sentencing.
Yeah.
Constantly.
But
Yeah.
I think those were crocodile tears.
Well,
I don't know. It was a
I don't
last
know.
kick of a dying horse. She
it
knew
really
it was going to be bad. I think she got 6 life sentences.
6,
Did she not?
Yeah.
So-
It's difficult to say with her what she's thinking, you know, the thought process behind it all. But apparently she is going to get help. Whether that is going to help, we're still to find out.
Right, and also they are saying that the detective in this particular article, Peter, talks about how the case took a toll on his family. Obviously, the fact that she was able to orchestrate a murder plan for the investigating officer while she was incarcerated.
well, I mean, you have to get rid of all the evidence.
Oh, it's a terrible, terrible,
Now
terrible
let's talk
one.
about City Press. Here it says, in red. I mean, it's the topic of the week, coalitions.
Yes.
And now the DA is fighting to keep out the ANC in the major metros. We're talking about Nelson Mandela Bay, we're talking about Tshwane, we're talking about Joburg.
Yes.
Are they actually going to get this right?
Well, it depends how they play their cards. We've been talking about the role that the EFF is going to play in this whole thing. In Nelson Mandela Bay, you have the DA and the ANC getting equal number of seats in the council, with the EFF getting 9. So now the EFF is saying to the ANC, give us Section 25 in Nelson Mandela Bay. These are some of their concessions. They want the ANC to agree to Section 25 on land expropriation without compensation, and then they'll get the mayoral chain in Nelson Mandela Bay. In Tshwane, the scales may not favor the ANC because the EFF is saying, provide clean drinkable water in Amanskral. And who's been
Then
doing
we can
that?
talk.
Action SA.
Yeah.
So you'll never know. Now, yesterday, they came out, Action SA came out, Eman Mashaba was here in studio, came out and said the DA approached us, but nothing is finalized yet. So when we asked the ANC on Friday, Paul Mashadile was on air with Anika on Newslink, it's like, well, the EFF may, or HNSA, perhaps they may have lost that chance to work with us because Herman Mashaba ruled out that possibility.
Yeah.
So now, who's going to go into coalition with the ANC and Joburg? You'll never know. All those talks are proceeding. We'll possibly know either today or tomorrow
Yeah.
who's going to go into coalitions with who.
I mean, the Sunday Times, let's bring it to the Sunday Times now, is also playing with the same topic, and it's actually reading that the ANC flirts with Zilla, DA keeps Mashaba waiting. I'm very confused. I'm very confused.
But you know what? I'd like political scientists to unpack this because I feel like they're dealing a bad hand to the electorate. I voted for Rofhiwa. I didn't want Barron to be my mayor.
Yeah.
But suddenly, because you guys are going into an agreement, he'll end up being my mayor in my city, running my city. And he has never provided anything for me. And I'm the fed-up voter.
Yeah.
Nothing is working where I live. I don't have power. You have not riding. Even electricity issues constantly.
Constantly.
And we've seen all this talks, you know, that all these political parties, or most of them, are saying that, you know, coalitions will work and they are going to get to some sort of an agreement because, you know, it works in Germany, it works in the UK. But do you think that's just all talk?
Not here.
Yeah.
JJ, during the week at the Results Operations Center in Pretoria, spoke to the AIC. They gave the ANC the mayoral chain in Ekurhuleni on the understanding that the ANC will help them to get Matatiele off the Eastern Cape and be part of KZN. What happened?
Didn't happen.
It didn't happen. They're still waiting even now. JJ even pressed the guy further to say, you're still going to vote with the ANC? He's like, yeah, we still have that understanding. What happens to those people on the ground who voted for the AIC on that understanding? That's why, as a voter, I felt like coalitions wouldn't necessarily work in South Africa because promises are not kept, number one. And people are flip-flopping. Just now, Julius was saying to everyone is going to go into coalition within Pretoria, that in Tshwane.
That he's willing to go with anybody as long as certain demands are met.
Within 6 months, if you don't provide clean, drinkable water in Amanskral, the deal is off.
Yeah.
Then what happens to the stability?
Yeah, which is what has been lacking.
Yes.
Yeah.
What happens to stability? You can control all the budgets, but what
It
happens
means
to
nothing
stability?
if there's no stability.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's only the people that are going to suffer again.
That's right.
Definitely, because
Absolutely.
there'll be jostling, the councils will be dissolved, like we've seen in Tshwane with Maile coming in. It doesn't help the people on the ground. It's politicians fighting for their survival. It doesn't help the ordinary man on the streets.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Peter. It's been a pleasure having you this morning, and also welcome to the South African morning.
Weekend edition, the best one, the best kind there is.
Yes.
Awesome stuff.